The Avengers just got their own version of Krakoa. What a way to start, huh? There is now a member of the team that is a sentient island. Their name is Impossible City. They just dropped in July of last year, so it's almost their birthday. Impossible City was created by a separate group of heroes that had trapped a bunch of monsters called the Ashen Combine inside the city. The heroes eventually just mysteriously disappeared and the monsters got out. They proved really quickly why they were trapped. They started destroying worlds and defeating heroes, all while dragging around Impossible City as their headquarters against their will. The city was modified to serve the group, but it knew that it didn't want to. It wasn't until the Avengers battled the monsters that things got interesting. Captain America and Black Panther went up to the island intending to destroy it. However, the island started speaking to them, which was probably the most normal thing to happen to them all that week. The island was convinced the Avengers weren't going to win the fight, so it offered to blow itself up as a sacrifice, but Captain America and Black Panther were like, absolutely not, you're a good guy now, so don't do that. The Avengers defeated the Ashen Combine because they are the Avengers, and then they destroyed the things on the island that were controlling it, so now Impossible City is free. Impossible City asked the Avengers to join the team, and who are they to say no? If mutants can have a sentient island, so can the Avengers. Welcome to the team, Impossible City, she says like she's on it. One can dream though. Psylocke has been around since the 80s, but she just joined the Avengers after the events at that one Hellfire Gala and everything that came after that one gala. Captain America was putting together the new Avengers Unity Squad and recruited Psylocke to the team. She joined because they had common goals. She probably wouldn't have done it unless she needed to. It wasn't until she got through a few battles on the team that she decided to stick around. After the Avengers came out victorious against Orchis and the Mutant Liberation Front, she must have decided to stick around considering she is still an active member. Psylocke is known for her telepathic abilities and her martial arts skills. She's been part of the X-Men for years. It's the Avengers that are just now cluing in on her talent. Similar to Psylocke is Penance, or Monet. She started out as an X-Men, but after the disastrous events of that one gala, she joined Captain America's Avengers Unity Division. Penance is actually the second identity of Monet that was created by her evil brother. She told him she wouldn't go around the universe terrorizing people with him, so he turned her into Penance, a mute creature with sharp, hard red skin. Eventually, she was freed from this body thanks to other family members. She did have a villain era, but ultimately, when mutants were in danger, she stepped up to the plate, joined the good side, the Avengers Unity Division, and saved her community. Johnny Watts went from vigilante on the West Coast to West Coast Avenger. Johnny met Kate Bishop while she was investigating the disappearance of his sister's girlfriend. Naturally, he decided to help Kate out, and they saved his sister's girlfriend. Seems like he had fun working with Kate because they continued working together and investigating crimes. At this point, all Kate knows is that Johnny is just a human that's really good at fighting. However, during this really big battle, Johnny shields her from some falling concrete, so surprise, he actually has superpowers. His power is omnimorph duplication, and that is turning your body into any substance you touch. Watts wears vibranium jewelry, so he always has access to a strong substance to transform into, and I love it when heroes are smart. It seems like a bare minimum requirement, but you would be surprised. When Kate was reforming the West Coast Avengers, Watts was all for it, and at this point, he took on his hero name. You are never going to guess what Johnny Watts' hero name is. Fuse. The commitment to the bit is outstanding. Sister and brother duo Goodness and Lucky joined the West Coast Avengers back in 2016, but it wasn't an easy road to get there. Goodness and Lucky are humans with the power to turn into an animal. Goodness into a blue wolf and Lucky into a pink two-tailed fox. One night, while they were minding their business, a group of supervillains attacked their neighborhood, leading to Lucky ending up in the hospital. It eventually came out that the attack was orchestrated by a councilman, so a high-risk area of the city would be eliminated. Obviously, Goodness is really upset about her current circumstances and ends up transforming into her wolf form in the police station. The Great Lakes Avengers were able to help out and get her to relax, and she ultimately decided to use her odd power for good. She joined the GLA as Good Boy, helping the team defeat the Bodge Squad. As of right now, Lucky has not joined the team. Gwenpool quickly charmed people when she appeared on a variant cover, so much much so that she manifested into an actual Marvel character. Despite technically first appearing in 2015, she didn't join an Avengers team until 2018, the same team Fuse would have joined. When Kate was pulling together that team, Gwenpool was accidentally recruited after appearing in the room right after Kate rejected a bunch of unqualified candidates. Gwenpool might be chaotic, but she is good at what she does. She, like Deadpool, is a fourth wall breaker because she was from a universe where Marvel is just comics and movies, so she understands how heroes' stories worked and the physical page structure of them. She interacts with text boxes, manipulates stories based on writing conventions one would typically see in a super story. Her personality and unique character backstory and her overall aesthetic have cemented her as a fan favorite character. When her edition of the West Coast Avengers disbanded, she was aware that it was because the comic was cancelled, and that led to some major and strange developments in the Marvel Universe. She was worried she would be cancelled or erased and wanted to ensure she would always have a place in the Marvel Universe, and one of her many attempts at doing that was trying to unmask Spider-Man, among many other things. Brandy Selby was here for a good time, not a long time, and I am speaking so literally. She was born with the Starbrand. However, every time she used the power that came with it, she would quickly age. Years of her life would biologically fly by in just a couple of hours or even minutes. Brandy has had quite the life. The Avengers assisted with her birth. Then she ended up in an alternate reality being raised by Groot and Rocket Raccoon. Good luck, Brandy, with that pairing. Unfortunately, Rocket of that universe got into a fight with Dr. Spectrum and lost more than just the fight. As revenge, Brandy went to find Spectrum and take him out. There was also all this drama happening on Earth. Coulson warped reality into a world without the Avengers, and Starbrand helped fix that. Eventually, she ended up back on Earth, fought the multiverse masters of evil. She aged into a young adult from that brawl. As the Avengers were traveling across time, Starbrand eventually used her powers to the point of becoming an old woman, and she was of course benched. She ended up saving the day when she and Firehair sacrificed themselves in an effort to undo the damage to all the Earths by the Masters. She literally was around for a good time, but not a long time, and her sacrifice will not be forgotten. But I mentioned Firehair briefly for a second there, and she's got quite the life story. I have to yap about it. She debuted in 2017, but in 616 timeline, she is literally a million years old, maybe more. And here's just a short list of some of what she has done in her life. She bonded with the Phoenix Force, she was raised by wolves, founded the prehistoric Avengers, fell in love with Odin, fought a Celestial, sacrificed herself for the fate of the universe, and is technically one of Thor's moms. Truly, her memoir would be the most jam-packed book to ever hit the shelves in a New York Times bestseller. While she is not part of the modern Avengers, she is part of the prehistoric Avengers and met up with the modern Avengers, and that's when she sacrificed herself alongside Brandy. She was one of the first hosts for the Phoenix Force. You might also see her referred to as Lady Phoenix. The reason she is kind of Thor's mom is she assisted with his birth. Mother Earth gave birth to him, but then he passed due to Lawfree, so Firehair resurrected him and put some of the Phoenix power in him, making her his second mother. Quite the life story. Weapon H is another new kid on the block, debuting in 2017, joining an Avengers team in 2019. He's been part of the War Avengers and the Savage Avengers, and when I tell you his life story, you will understand why. First things first, he made this list because I read that he was a hybrid of Wolverine and Hulk and verbally said, oh my god, that's so cool, so he had to be here. Clayton Cortez, before he became this hybrid Hulk-verine, was just a kid who dealt with some bad cards in life. He didn't have a nice family, and when he grew up and joined the military, he was assigned to a mission that involved harming innocents, so he sabotaged it. That got him sold to the Weapon X Batch H division that was working on creating Hulk Wolverine cyborgs with a taste for endangering mutants. Not his day, week, month, or even his year. He became Weapon H. He eventually escaped that facility, and his main mission was making sure all data of his family and friends races that he likes are off the radar of anyone who would want to harm them. He has met both Wolverine and Hulk and fought with and against both Wolverine and Hulk. He fought them either out of necessity or he was under mind control. He was recruited by Captain America to join Captain America's War Avengers, and they had a great time. Weapon H has all the powers that Wolverine and Hulk has. He wins at life, and I cannot think of a cooler pairing. Finishing off with another new Avenger that I think is really cool, we have Deathlok. Deathlok is Miles Morales from Earth 807,128. Originally part of the Champions, he ended up facing Annihilus. In that fight, Miles ended up passing, but then he didn't. He ended up turning into Deathlok. From what I can gather from the comic, it's likely because Michael stole the cosmic control rod from Annihilus and broke it. It caused him to become more cyborg than man. Miles in this universe is very similar to his 616 counterpart. He's fearless and funny and fights like his life depends on it because it always does. Deathlok is part of the Savage Avengers, just like Weapon H. Even though they are from separate Earths, there's a lot of timeline messes happening, and that's how that happened. Deathlok debuted in May of 2022. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and make your mark on the comment section down below. Let me know your favorite Avenger. This is Juliana signing off. Bye!